Well, we have great news today. One of the children that were shot at the Catholic school um, is recovering. She had a bullet in her brain, apparently, and she is making a miraculous comeback. She's 12 years old. She had the bullet in her brain, and she was a seventh grader. And apparently, they had to remove a part of her skull to relieve the pressure, and where the bullet was, what did he say? He was saying that it was in the normal area and he had to go through it. They were concerned about doing more damage to her brain to get this bullet out, but they did it, and she's showing great signs of recovery. She can breathe on her own. Um, and this was horrific. Her family is just ecstatic. Her mother is a nurse, and her mother was at work when this happened. And she also has a son that was at the church as well. And she did not realize that one of her own children was one of the victims. And it's just this Dr. Walt told reporters earlier this month that the bullet that was lodged in her brain was in a critical area that left experts, they were worried about, removing it. Is it going to be dangerous even 10 days after the shooting? So that, and it went through the normal part of the brain to get to the bullet out, which can cause more damage with low chance of survival. But praise God, she is doing well. They had to remove half of her skull to relieve pressure inside her head. So this is a great feel-good story, and we pray that she continues to get better. God bless her and her family, and it's just amazing, and that is some great news that we all need to hear. All right, all right, all right. So these goofy left with hip card women, you don't even know if we want to call them leftards. Are they just psychotic and goofy? I'm trying to be nice, I guess. I don't know. But they're posting videos on TikTok that they're pregnant, very much so, and they're taking the Tylenol to try to prove some kind of point. I mean, I think if you were sane, you'd be like, wow, maybe I need to call my doctor. And even Trump had stated, hey, if you got a super high fever, you need to talk to your doctor and then maybe you could take Tylenol. Hmm. But to just start taking it because you don't even need it and you're taking it. Now, I found this interesting here, this
We
video
need to
right
have a
here.
serious talk, and this isn't going to be one of my funny
Let
videos.
me stop this. So I get on X and I see that this woman says she gets a call from somebody and a friend or somebody. Let's see what she says. So you'll get what I'm
We
going
need to
for.
have a serious talk, and this isn't going to be one of my funny videos because I don't think this shit is funny at all anymore. And you people need to cut it out. Cut it out. I just watched a video from Nicole Sorrento on her Instagram about a husband who contacted her at 4 a.m. this morning. Do you know why? Because his wife, pregnant wife, who's 23 to 25 weeks pregnant, wanted to prove that Tylenol doesn't cause autism. Guess where she is? She's in a hospital on a ventilator with liver failure, and they said she's not going to survive.
Well, wouldn't there had been some underlining problems with her, or how much Tylenol did she take? I mean, look, I'm just asking questions here. So then this is the nurse talks about woman who overdoses on Tylenol, saying she overdosed on Tylenol. Okay, let's see what she says.
So it's about, it's going to be 6 a.m. finally. And for those of you who don't follow me on Twitter, I recommend that you do. I got a call, a very frantic call at 4 o'clock in the morning from a husband whose wife is now dying of liver failure on a ventilator in an ICU, because she was trying to prove that Tylenol doesn't cause autism because of what Trump said on the news. Mind you, that's a Harvard study. Now, whether or not you believe the Harvard study or not is not the issue here. The issue is that she's somewhere between 23 to 25 weeks and she overdosed on Tylenol. And she's going to die. She's not going to come off that ventilator. And the guy got my phone number from somebody. Somebody gave it to him. I mean, guys, it's early in the morning. I'm still in Hello Kitty sweatpants in my gym trying to work out. And she's going to die. It's going to be, let me tell you something about Tylenol overdosing and death, is that if you aren't administered the antidote, it is a very slow and painful death, okay? Because Tylenol, as well as Benadryl and aspirin, are the three most common OTCs that people will typically try to unalive themselves with, so it gets censored. But now people are just taking massive amounts of Tylenol to prove Trump wrong. I mean, weren't these the same people who put Harvard and Fauci and the pillars of science on a pedestal? And now they refuse to believe it. Like, I don't believe it either. But I'm also not going to go overdose on Tylenol either. And it's just so sad because he has to make the choice of them going and trying to emergency deliver this baby. And the baby may not survive. The baby's going to spend a long time in the NICU. Hopefully the baby will survive. And remember, guys, preemies have complications even if they do survive.
Yeah.
I didn't ask him if he had more children. So, I mean, let's say this woman they have more children. They lost their mother. Baby's not going to grow up with the mom.
So so I was saying when I saw the first video, was there other underlying complications? I didn't realize she had overdosed, and this woman's telling us good Lord, how many did she take half the bottle to prove something wrong? I mean, even somebody who's even kind of goofy knows you shouldn't take a whole hand. And plus, she's pregnant. I don't know. That's just some craziness right there. That is just crazy. So here we have a slew of other women on TikTok. TikTok. I had downloaded TikTok on my computer. I thought I could use it for videos and getting stuff, and I started going through it, and I was like, this is just a cesspool of garbage. Just garbage. And I just deleted it. I uninstalled it. I just didn't want it. I just didn't want it. I guess if, I mean, a lot of people just repost stuff on X or YouTube. I can get other articles. I don't have to have TikTok. I guess it's this thing of instant gratification, but there's also dangers in it as well. Is that you have these slew of women posting on TikTok that they're going to prove Donald Trump wrong, which is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. Now this one has music playing, so I have to keep it muted because I don't want to get flagged from YouTube for copyright. But here's her. She's dancing to some music. She's very much pregnant. And what the hell? She's going to take some Tylenol. Uh, Are you serious? Let me just prove you wrong? That is terrifying to me. That you want to, because if there's an inkling of truth to what they're saying is talk to your doctor before you start taking Tylenol or before you take anything because it goes through your baby's system. So you should be very careful. If somebody tells you something, it's like, well, maybe I need to wait for more evidence to come out. Maybe I don't believe it, but I'm still going to wait for more evidence to come out, do some of my own due diligence, and research this Tylenol thing and see if there's anything to it. look, there might be something to it. What do they tell you when your kid's little? You can't give them aspirin, right? I remember when my son was little, it's like, no, you can't give them aspirin. You got to give them like children's aspirin at a certain age. And then you can't give them adult aspirin, right? So why would you take the aspirin when you're pregnant? Just asking questions here. I don't know. I'm just thinking out of the box. Here's another woman. Let me mute this because it's got music playing. So she's got the little travel Tylenol, and I'm pregnant and I'm taking travel Tylenol. There you go. Peace out. All of you do this. This is insanity. This is just really, I don't understand it. I really don't. Oh, here's this. Look at this. Let's see.
28 weeks pregnant. You know what I'm gonna take? Some Tylenol, acetaminophen. It's gonna work like a charm, and my baby won't have autism.
Wow. It's disturbing on so many levels. I don't even know where to begin with this. This is just crazy. Let's see what she's saying. She's fun of it. I mean, that is funny, but in a way, it's not funny. This is some serious stuff. I mean, there's a slew of women. I don't know how many's posted videos, but they're endangering their babies. And then this one woman we just saw earlier that we're being told. Now I haven't found a news article on this woman, which if this happened, which this woman saying it did, that she gets this call in the middle of the night that this guy's wife OD'd on Tylenol to prove a point is just beyond comprehension. So hopefully we'll get some news outlets will pick up on it and follow up on it, and then we can see what's happening on that. This is a good one here. Another woman on TikTok.
I took Tylenol as needed in moderation in all 3 of my pregnancies.
Hi, Dr. Sterling. Never seen you until just now because I'm researching that if I'm really hearing these rumors are true, that pregnant women are literally in protest taking Tylenol while pregnant because they hate Donald Trump and RFK Jr. that bad that they would be willing to put their unborn babies at risk. And so I watched your whole video and you're saying, well, these studies are inconclusive. And then you go on and say that during your pregnancy, you took Tylenol during all 3 of your pregnancies. So what you're basically saying here is it's safe, right? I mean,
Well, unless she took it in moderation, let's say, how many times did she take it each pregnancy? Was it 1 or 2 times? Did she just take 1 pill? I mean, these women are just down in this Tylenol. I don't know if they're just doing it to get clicks, to get attention. Which, look, there could be a portion of women who are doing that because a lot of those women we just saw in some of those videos that are pregnant are very young, and young people are dumb. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. We're dumb. I mean, so we make most of the biggest mistakes of our life before we turn 25, right? I don't know. My thing just lagged. So what I was saying was, and I apologize. I thought I fixed it. I'm gonna have to do some more tinkering. But we're all done before 25, and then by the time we're 30, we're like, my God, was I stupid? And these women looked really young. Plus, they're pregnant. They're going to be young parents, and they're risking their children's lives taking Tylenol just to spite Donald Trump. Can we thank the liberals and the leftist vengefulness of calling him a fascist, a Nazi, and all of this stuff for the past 10 years, and that now these people are 25 years old. So for the past 5, 6 years, since the time they were 15 to 20, 21, 22, they've been hearing this spew and propaganda. So now they're like, oh, well, he's just a fascist and I don't believe nothing he says.
Could Harvard, Stanford, Yale, Princeton, could they all be wrong?
All of them did these studies as well.
Well, how about Tylenol themselves? Let's see what Tylenol has to say. Shall we, Dr. Sterling? Tylenol took to social media and actually posted this on X, formerly known as Twitter. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today.
Wow.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you are no fan of President Trump, nor are you a fan of RFK Jr. I'm also going to go out on a limb here and say that you definitely voted for Kamala. And I'm going to go on another limb here and say that you would overlook all of the studies done by Ivy League schools and the statement that Tylenol themselves made simply because of your hatred for Donald Trump. Hey, pregnant ladies, let me just say, if Tylenol themselves is saying that they don't recommend taking acetaminophen when you are pregnant, no matter what anyone says, if the manufacturer of the drug themselves comes out and says, we do not recommend taking this medication while you're pregnant, perhaps your hatred for Trump should not supersede your common sense and your ability to care for your unborn child.
Right on, right on, right
But
on.
hey,
right on, sister.
Who am
right
I?
on.
Just some conservative MAGA lady who gives a shit if your unborn child comes out all kinds of screwed up.
I took Tylenol
Right on,
as
right on, right on, right on. I couldn't have said it better myself. She's right. You doing this out of spite because you don't like it. You probably voted for Kamala. I mean, this is insane. You would risk the life of your children. I mean, I don't think Tylenol could come out and go, yeah, our product is safe. And then all of a sudden something happens down the road and they're going to get the shit suit out of them. Right? I mean, so yeah, they're like, we recommend don't, but like if you're if you're like got a fever, you're super sick, I guess they could administer small doses or something to get your fever down. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't know. I'm just throwing in some gobbledygoo that, they're not recommending you take this. You need to talk to your doctor, or if you're sick. Here's just a few little things. Mount Sinai study supports evidence that prenatal acetaminophen use may be linked to increased risk of autism. And pretty much they're all saying the same thing. Tylenol may increase risk of autism in children if taken during pregnancy. I mean, all of these studies were done. President Trump cares about the country. He cares about the people, the citizens, the children. Look what he said. I posted a video of the UN where he just scorched earthed them by pointing out them, by saying they're ruining their countries by letting all these illegals in. And he puts JFK in charge of the health department because he's concerned. I've never seen any other president do this, where they're going after this stuff, getting rid of ingredients. If y'all go to Europe and look at the ingredients in their cereal, it is like three ingredients. Just take a moment and look at your kid's cereal. I mean, it's like this long in the box on the side. My kid will be reading it, and he's like, I don't even know what this is. I'm like, I don't either. I don't even know what this is. And you have all these different dyes and petroleum. Oh, God, all kinds of crazy stuff that, like, why is this in here? Right? Why is this in here? I have to buy potato chips with with just 2 ingredients. Now, I did get a bag that had the avocado oil in it. I'm gonna see if it messes with me, but because I got food allergies. But just potatoes and salt. That's all you need for potato chips. Go look at your bag of Lay's and see the garbage that's in it that doesn't need to be in it. And I don't think our bodies know what to do with it. And this is probably why we're obese. We're probably the fattest country on the planet. Look at something funny. This Trump in the White House with all the pictures of the presidents before him. And look, he's smacked in between himself, right? Because he's, 2016, 2024. And look at Biden, auto pin in the middle. He took his picture down and put this in there. Oh man, that's hysterical. You gotta love Trump because he's so dead funny. He is so funny. And I just loved how he ripped the UN, by the way. I loved how he ripped it. He ripped them a new one. I by all means go watch it. Either watch it on my channel. I do no commentary. I just recorded the whole thing. So you can watch it just as it is. Or watch it somewhere else, C-SPAN or whoever else was carrying it. But this is fabulous. This is just funny. Trump did this. You know what? This right here looks like his mugshot. Does it not? That's crazy. I just noticed that. And then this is his new one over here. Let's see. Can y'all see that? I put that over like that. Boom.
Watching CNN last
Watching CNN.
night, which has more employees than actual viewers at this point, guys. Let's just say
All right, that was funny.
they did not find the humor in all of this. Abby Phillip saying, oh, wow, that's hilarious, before saying that it was beneath the office to do so. Do you know what's really beneath the office, to answer your question, Carly? Having faceless, unelected bureaucrats running the country for a president who clearly was not, and then trying to cover it all up. I am
Burn. That was a scorched burn.
certain that is not only beneath the office, but one of the biggest scandals of our lifetimes. And
Yeah, and it'll probably go down in history as that. Yeah.
this is the ultimate troll from Trump again. But
It's the ultimate troll. Remember the garbage can? I mean, the garbage truck Trump got in? I mean, talk about troll, because Biden said we were just all trash. That votes for Trump, we're just trash. He's like, all right, man, I'm going to get me a trash truck. It was epic.
it's also a reminder that we should never forget what happened during the Biden era. And the open question is, who or how many were behind those thousands of pardons as Biden was making exit stage left? I think that's what a lot of people want to know. And this, by going back into the news cycle, is a reminder of the 46th president.
Oh my gosh, did y'all see Biden's face? I mean, look at this. This is sad. It's just so sad.
Reminder of the 46th president, which was a failure by all accounts, based on the fact that Donald Trump got back in office as dominantly as he did.
Yeah, Joe, you really took a fact-based approach to your answer there. I would just say, I think at the end of the day, in reference to those CNN people, I just think Republicans and Democrats, conservatives and liberals find different things funny. And I don't think we're changing that anytime soon.
They find different things funny. This is hysterical. No, they're not funny. The left is not funny. Jimmy Kimmel is not funny. They're not funny. And I agree with them. They just don't think things are funny. I guess if it's pointed at them, but there is so much to make fun of on the left. It's insane. Looky here, we got a sinkhole in Bangkok. This is I am going to speed this up a little bit So you guys, let's see. We'll go to there. We'll do that. Look at this. Look at this. Watch this truck right here. See this truck right here? Look at all these pipes. These are huge. All this water. This is insane. Apparently, this was outside a hospital. Excuse me. Whoa. Oh, watch this truck. Oh, this is crazy. It looks like they have a whole lot of, obviously, all cities do have a whole lot of infrastructure underneath the streets and the buildings. Y'all go take a look at the architectural structure underneath the city of New York. I guess sometime at the turn of the century when they had that big blizzard and they lost all communications with phones and stuff because all the power lines were down. So they, after that blizzard, like I said, this was probably near the turn of the century. The 1900s, by the way, because there was another turn of the century. They put everything under the ground. Everything. And then they got the subways under there. So there's a whole, look at this. Look at this. This is crazy. And look at this truck. This truck is hanging by a thread. This is crazy. This guy's like backing up. Like, what do I do? What do I do? There's another angle. I was looking for the truck again. Truck's probably gone. Look at this. I don't even know if I would be wanting to stand that close. This is crazy. Look at this. There's another view. Hmm. Mm. That's kind of different angle of what we already saw because all that water being poured out right there. Good night. This is just crazy. Oh, there's the truck right there. I wonder if that poor truck got to hang on. Hmm. Well, there you have it. There you have it. That is insane sinkhole. Y'all remember the sinkhole? It was just a couple years ago where a grandmother fell in the sinkhole and they couldn't find her. It was insane. I was like, oh my God. Now, I thought this was funny of his response, Ed Cruz's response. I saw this last night. And then I thought, what? Okay. Let's hear his response to the gunman for the ICE facility attack.
Spoke about this violence.
Violence has no place. It is wrong.
Right there. I know it's a serious incident, but guys, violence has no place and it is wrong. What are you talking to a 10-year-old? What are you doing? I know I have a crazy sense of humor, but I thought that was funny. I really did. It's like, wait, let's hear this again. Let's hear this again.
Violence has no place. It is wrong. And we should come together. If we want to have a debate about immigration policies, we can do so in the halls of Congress without demonizing each other, and especially without demonizing the men and women who every day put on a badge and go risk their lives to keep us safe.
I agree with him. I just thought it was funny. I don't know. Maybe I'm goofy like that.
This
And watch
violence.
the pause he makes.
Violence has no place. It is wrong. And we
Pause. Okay, so I'm assuming he's just winging it, right? He's just spitballing here. He's just winging it. There you go. Here's another thing that came up. Parents outraged over anti-ICE poster in National Academy Foundation classroom. What's going on here? What's happening?
School investigators here are struggling to explain how a politically charged message wound up on the walls of a public school. Many parents were never aware that it happened, but tonight they're demanding an explanation.
I don't think it would actually be right here at my doorstep.
At the National Academy Foundation in East Baltimore, parents are struggling to understand who's behind a poster, which many parents call offensive.
It's racist. It could be a kid, it could be an adult, a teacher, nobody knows.
On the walls of two separate classrooms, this is what students faced. A picture of a federal agent and the caption, "Can't spell cowardice without ICE. Show your face, Gestapo scum."
Dang. We thank for this. Gavin Newsom trying to pass some stupid retarded bill. What's the matter? What are you afraid of, ICE? What are you afraid of? I tell you what, Gavin Newsom, does he walk around California without armed security? Just asking questions here. Is he? I highly doubt it. His car that he drives around to get to his speeches or whatever he's going to be doing. He's in probably a bulletproof vehicle with bomb-proof crap underneath the car. I mean, but no, he wants these ICE officers to unmask so we can know who they are. Why do you need to know who they are? I don't need to know who they are. Do anybody out there? Do you really need to know who these people are who are trying to protect us, the citizens of the United States, getting out the illegal criminals? Whether you're here and you're peaceful and you're working, but you came here illegally, I'm sorry, but you got to go. You got to go. You got kids, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. I know the bleeding heart liberals are like, well, they're just peaceful. And I tell you what, the Trump administration is getting the most heinous out first. But those people who did come in here illegally need to leave. I don't see any other country on the planet. Well, yeah, we do. We do. My bad. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. I don't see people flooding into Mexico. How come Mexico doesn't have this problem? But Europe, Italy, all of these other countries are inundated. London, all of them, they just had a march last week. All of them are being overrun by illegals. And the governments aren't doing anything. And what is bizarre is, why did this all happen at the same time all over the world? All these governments, Biden, Harris administration, Great Britain, European Union, all of these other countries are dealing with this influx of illegals. Now they're having a problem with the Muslims. We're having a problem with the Mexicans. I don't see anybody trying to get into Mexico. But why? The question is, why did this all happen at the same time? I don't know. Is there a conspiracy? I don't know. But it seems kind of odd and This isn't coincidental. It can't be coincidental that everybody on the planet's having the same damn problem, and the same damn problem with the stupid climate change crap that has ruined countries. And thank God, he was talking about praising Germany on how well they're doing. That they're like, and in China making these windmill turbines and sending them to everybody and making billions and laughing all the way to the bank that these people are dumbasses, and certainly we are. But do you see them destroying their economy? No. And like Trump said, it doesn't matter what we do. Their pollution blows and just comes over here. It's insane.
That's not a place for a classroom. We all can have our opinions and voice them, but in a positive manner. That shouldn't be there.
A lot of Hispanic kids who goes here at this school. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of racial slurs and outrageous comments like that.
Does it need to be in a classroom?
No, it does not need to be in a classroom.
Sources inside the school say the posters have been up since the first of the school year and were seen as late as today. The student population here is largely Hispanic.
The school is predominantly Hispanic. I see a lot of Hispanic kids in here, and to bring in something of ICE in there is trying to put scare to them or their family.
Late today, City Schools issued a statement writing, City Schools was made aware of a poster in a classroom at NAF that was flagged as inappropriate and concerning. The poster was immediately removed once we were alerted. We take this matter seriously and are reviewing it.
Wait a minute. This poster has been up since the first of the year. And they just noticed it. So none of the faculty, the teachers, the principal, assistant principal, the guidance counselor, the basketball coach, nobody. They walked down the halls like this, like nobody saw this until some parents complained about it, is what I'm assuming. We took it down once we became aware. Oh, man. That's funny. See? Liberals living, they keep them blinders on. Just ignore that picture.
In accordance with district policies and procedures. While our source says 2 faculty members are responsible for the posters, the school district has yet to confirm who's behind the posted message. But for many parents,
We want some DNA, some fingerprints. You know they got fingerprints on those posters when they hung them up. Come on. I want a forensic team in there.
the political message is sending a troubling message to students.
I just bother me because the children don't need to be troubled by it because they're kids. They just.
There have been differing court opinions over how far is too far when faculty members choose to express their First Amendment rights while working at a public institution. We're live tonight. Jeff Abel.
Well, the thing is it's showing the children the lack of respect for authority. I always told my kid too, just because I didn't vote for Obama's in office, and even Biden, you have to respect the position. I did not respect or liked any of their policies. None of them. But I respect the office. I don't think you should demean the President of the United States if you disagree with their policies. I don't think calling Obama a moron or Biden an idiot and this kind of thing, it doesn't serve a good purpose at all. That we need to respect the position and then take the position of debating, looking at facts, looking at what their policies are, what are alternative policies, and just, take it from there and not degrade them. And we should, and look, probably for what, since Floyd and maybe prior before that, where children have been indoctrinated with, don't trust the police. We need to defund the police, and this is more in the minority group areas, and and where we saw a lot of this mess come out. That they want Black Lives Matter uprose from that, and Antifa, all of this stuff that just created this culture in these young people that they've grown up with for the past 5 years. If somebody's from 15, now they're 20, and now they're able to vote, and they've been indoctrinated with all this gobbledygook. And some of them are in college and then being indoctrinated there. I mean, what do you do? How can you combat this? Well, you had Charlie Kirk combat this. And he was making great strides in doing so. And of course, they're going to continue to carry that torch. But I think we need to get back to parents, and maybe government needs to start a program. Heck, they give money to the schools. There needs to be some curriculum. I It's lagging. It just stopped. I'll try to catch it when I can. I've been trying to fix this, guys, and I do apologize because it is annoying. Um, I don't even know if you can do this on the school level or whatever, but where is the teaching of respect for yourself, for your government? Uh, well, if they've all been taught that it's just the founding fathers were just white old men who owned slaves, they're not going to respect that, because that's all they think that this was. To really understand, to teach them what these people went through, the Revolutionary War, and how serious it was to create where you are now, where you have freedom of speech. You have so much freedom. It's unbelievable. I don't even know where to begin. And to teach them to respect police officers. I don't know. That's crazy. Couple of more news articles. The telecommunications, the U.S. Secret Service, it dismantled a network of electrical devices located throughout New York, through the tri-state area, which was used to conduct multiple telecommunications related threats directly towards senior U.S. government officials. The devices were concentrated within 35 miles of the ongoing United Nations General Assembly meeting in New York. Wow. They're saying this could have been really, really bad. And if this is happening in other cities and states where they can spam this out, and all of a sudden you can't use your phone because I guess it's just what it does is just overwhelms the server. I found this is Breaking Christian News, and I really like it. You can check it out. Breaking Christian News. I've been finding a lot of articles on here because I want to look at alternative sources for news. Here we go. Ryan Ross, would-be attempted assassin of President Trump, found guilty on all counts. So we know he did, and the attorney, the assistant U.S. attorney, Christopher Brown, told the jury, stopping to the point to Roth, who was hiding in a sniper's nest. And he was there for 10 hours. And then his daughter comes out, and his son and his daughter are standing by their daddy. I know they love him, but he needs some serious, serious help. I told somebody yesterday, I said, well, he defended himself. So I'm thinking, obviously, he's going to appeal. I don't know. I'm not an attorney. I'm not an expert in crime. I love watching crime shows. I've got videos on some trials I had covered. Anyway, I think maybe since he decided he's going to represent himself. He only called 3 witnesses. Apparently, one of the witnesses he called just was totally, because he was saying the gun didn't work. And the guy's like, well, we shot it twice. Yeah, it worked, you know. And then he's all like, well, I was just hanging out there. I wasn't going to do nothing. Okay. But I guess my point I'm trying to make is I think he would probably appeal and then get a real attorney. That is my thought on that. And let's take a look at his daughter. Let's see what she has to say.
I spoke to the defendant's daughter, who described watching her father through these proceedings as, in a word, tough.
My father is a really great man.
Sarah Ruth and her brother Adam in Florida from Hawaii, attending their father's federal trial in Fort Pierce.
Be there for our father and support and stand behind him, and we will always support our father no matter what. And he's my best friend, always will be, and I'll always be there for him.
What's your name, Austin? Ryan Ruth is accused of trying to assassinate Donald Trump last year.
Shots fired, shots fired, shots fired. Individual in the bush with a gun.
When the then presidential candidate was playing golf at Trump International Golf Club in West Palm Beach.
All units be advised, they look like an AK-47 style assault rifle pointed through the fence onto the golf course.
The prosecution painting the picture of a man who methodically plotted. It doesn't seem like he disputes that he was there, that he had planted himself on a fence line near where the president was golfing. If he had a rifle with him, what was his intent if not to shoot?
I'm not going to speak on that. But that's, I'm not going to speak about that. I don't know anything about it.
Ruth,
Why does she not know anything about it? I'm assuming she sat in the courtroom and heard all the testimony. So she doesn't want to comment about it. So we're just going to be the ostrich with the head in the sand?
59-year-old former construction worker who decided to represent himself.
My father is just getting shut down. Everything he says.
Struggled Monday when it came time to mount his own defense. At times, his mouth slightly agape with furrowed brows and apparent confusion as the federal...
Because he's not an attorney. He doesn't understand the law. This is why I think that he'll probably get another trial. Because how could this been fair? Yeah, guys, you could go and insist on, I am going to represent myself. Ted Bundy did it. I'm sure there's a slew of criminals throughout history that decided because they're so arrogant and narcissistic that they're like, nah, I don't need nobody. I can do this myself.
Judge worked to keep his questions for his 3 witnesses within the bounds of the federal rules of evidence and criminal procedure. What is it like for you to watch him kind of struggle through that process?
It's obviously hard for us to watch the court turn him down on everything he has to say and any questions he has for his own witnesses.
Do you think he will regret his decision not letting the public...
He had 3 witnesses.
Like defenders assigned to him who are familiar with the rules of procedure and evidence in federal court actually stage his defense?
I don't believe he really had a choice. They were not very adequate. I don't think that they would have done a better job.
The judge...
He had a choice. He could have got somebody. He could have gotten a high-profile attorney because then it would have gave them spotlight attention. Y'all know Garrett goes with Scott Peterson. He come up, boom, he's watching. I mean, who was the guy that came out to defend Michael Jackson? You have a lot of these people that come out, these high-profile defense attorneys, and seem to try to defend the indefensible, right? The whole dream team for OJ. Everybody knew OJ did it. But they get really famous doing this. So I would think I bet there was some attorneys that came out and going, hey, I'll represent you. Because this has ended up being it was a high profile case.
Judge even warning him, moving forward with character witnesses Ruth hoped would show a jury he is kind and caring, would open the door to prosecutors being able to present additional evidence on cross that he was not.
It was not anything like they're making it out to be in the least bit.
Ruth chose not to take the stand in his own defense.
Why would he put himself in that position? You know, that would be stupid.
You watched your father there rest his case What does it look like for him?
We gotta wait and see. It's all up to the jury, and I think if anybody has a heart in that jury, they'll know that my father doesn't deserve to rot in prison for the rest of his life.
Closing.
Well, we all know how this ended. He was found guilty. They're saying beyond a reasonable doubt. And I think that he'll get another trial, possibly, so he can be properly represented. And if you're innocent, why would you not take the stand? I don't know. I mean, I know there's different situations for different things, different crimes, different, but if he's steadfast on that he's innocent, but because what is he going to say? Yeah, I was there. That's my gun, but it didn't shoot. But I'm hanging around here for 10 hours on Trump's golf course. It's like, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out, okay, there's so much evidence against you. You had an eyewitness, him running out, getting the license plate. That's just facts. That's just facts. Well, there you have it. Thought I'd go over some news today, and thank you for joining me. Please like and subscribe. I would surely appreciate it. God bless.